Welcome to the next installment of Home Theater Tours, and you saw the new logo at the beginning of this video. And DJ Briggs of the Bright Side of Home Theaters and I will now be hosting this show going forward, and this is the first one we're doing together. DJ, if you don't mind, there are some viewers who are listeners to my podcast. They don't know you very well. Would you mind introducing yourself to them?
Sure. Well, come on, Ara. They haven't listened to our Thanksgiving podcast?
I'm sure they have, but that might not everyone probably has listened to it. But yes, you're right. 100%
Yeah,
right.
Brightside Home Theater, where I talk about the scenes, the experiences we have in our theaters. After Ara's done helping you set up your theater and all the fun that you're going to have in your theater, that's what you listen to my podcast, Brightside Home Theater. It's on all the podcasts. I actually have a YouTube page as well. I have a website, brightsidehometheater.com, and you can find me on Twitter at BrightsideHT. And I also have an Instagram page now, Brightside HT Clips, where I just do clips of my shows and stuff. So, but yeah, Ara, thank you very much for bringing me in on this. We've had a lot of fun so far, and we haven't had no fruits of our labor has gone out yet. This is the first one, but we've been talking about this for a couple months?
Yeah, exactly. And we've got another one already in the can that we need to do a final edit for. That was going to be the first one, but I explained on my show this week that due to some technical issues, that's going to come out hopefully the week after this one. But yeah, and so for DJ's listeners who came here from his podcast, my name is Ara Derderian, and I am a co-host of the HDTV and Home Theater podcast. My partner, Braden Russell, and I, we've been doing this podcast for over 15 years. And when we decided to do this, Braden said, I got a lot going on, so he wasn't able to participate in this. And I was thinking, DJ, this is actually right up his alley. So we exchanged a few emails, and here we are. This is the first one that we're doing together, and it's a little bit different because I had already recorded this video that you're about to see with John, and then so DJ's seen the video, and then we'll come back after you watch it, and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to our next installment of Home Theater Tours, and today we have with us John Cabrera. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ara. How are you?
Good. Now, John and I have exchanged some emails, and you have a pretty cool room there. And you were going back and forth between a projector, or did you want to go with a big TV, large format TV? And you ended up doing a large format TV.
There were a couple of different things that I was thinking for this room in terms of screen size and format, and then same thing with speakers. But after speaking with you and looking at the room, it seemed that the large format TV would be best.
And what's really cool about John, you'll see here in a second here, is you went with a sound bar, but more than just a sound bar. This is an Atmos sound bar, and I'm really excited to see it and get your thoughts on it. So if you don't mind, just show us what your room looks like.
This room has been, since I bought this house about a dozen years ago, this has been the place where I've hoped to be able to have the room that I now have. You'll see here this little drop down in the ceiling. This half of the room where the TV was a garage, and this was the room. And we actually, over the years, we took space from the garage and kind of created the space that we have here now. We got a little, a treadmill there and a Peloton, and all in the last 6 months, we were able to get this couch, the TV, the soundbar, and really make it a nice space for the family. Before this, we were just upstairs, and we had, a smaller TV and some speakers. But this space right here, it's about 19 by 16. Really has been a place where we've been able to, relax, enjoy some TV or movies. And we were super excited to get it all set up. And I wanted to thank you, especially Ara, for helping with, picking out some of these things. Like you said, we did end up going with the soundbar and the large screen TV. But before this, back in 2014, I don't know if you remember this, Ara, I actually reached out to you when we did some of this work because I had it wired for a 7.1 system. If you look here under the soundbar, you'll see this right here on the wall. I had all the wires come there for speakers that were going to be on the wall right over here and on the other side of the TV, right over in this section here, in the back in that section over here, and then on this wall where the thermostat is. There were speaker wire went through all the walls, but when it came down to it and we looked at the space and you'll see there's really not that much room over here for a console and everything. I decided to scrap the receiver and all the speakers and kind of get a really good sound bar. I thought it was a small enough size room where we could get good sound from the sound bar, and I'm actually very happy with what we went with. So
right,
here
so
on the wall. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, what size TV do you have?
So we got a 86-inch LG NanoCell. It's let's see if I have the number here. It's a LG NanoCell 86 Nano 90. We originally had got it at Amazon, but when it was delivered, there was damage to the box, and so we had to send it back, which was not fun. And then we ended up getting it at Best Buy for a little bit more money because the sale had gone off, but it was still reasonable. It was right around $2,000. It was on sale this past November. We got it, and it's a beautiful size. I mean, my wife was afraid that it was going to be too big, and then once it went up on the wall, she's like, "Ah, it's not too big. We could have went bigger." And I was like,
It's so funny. Everybody says we could have gone bigger. And then tell us about your sound bar.
So with the sound bar, I mean, that was the thing that I was most interested in like researching, and it just went off. And we ended up going with the Klipsch Cinema 1200. There are a couple different TVs in that. Sound bars in the cinema in Klipsch's cinema line. I'm going to flip this back over to me, but we went with the 1200. That was the top of the line for them. The reason I went with that is because it came with 2 satellite speakers, like the rear speakers, which I'll flip this around, which you see are right behind the couch here. And this is an Atmos, like you said, an Atmos bar. So it has the speakers on the top that kind of shoot up, and comes with a wireless subwoofer as well. That's so the bar is 54 inches long, and it's a 5.1.4 Dolby Atmos soundbar. It's got the 12-inch wireless subwoofer, and then the surrounds, which also have upward Atmos firing speakers like built in the top here. I have the wires kind of hidden down there through this stand, but that's just for power.
Excellent. That's actually a really cool setup. Now, how does the Atmos sound? How does the surround sound and everything to your ear?
Well, originally, I'll tell you, when I first got these, I had these speakers back on the shelf. You'll see there's a little ledge here by the window, so I had them plugged into these outlets, and I had them separated. But this is about, from the wall to the couch, is about 8 feet. They recommended 3 to 6 feet. So I didn't really think that I was getting much from those. I mean, I kept trying to listen, but it really didn't, like, I didn't hear much. I tried to tune it up as much as I could. So I decided to get the stands, and right now they're in the current spot, but like when we're watching something, I'll move them back a little bit. Just because I don't want them right here. But I'll tell you what, when you're sitting like dead center on the TV, or even when off, you definitely hear stuff coming like from the ceiling. I mean, everything I feel like now, that like when we're watching Netflix or anything like that, you get sound from it. I mean, it really does hit you. I mean, I've been in rooms that have surround sound before, but I feel like this setup, you really do get input from those speakers, even from the Atmos. I did a Google search of things that have Atmos brought into the mixing. There were a few shows on Netflix. One was like a cartoon for the kids. I forget the name of it. And then there was another one like with Sherlock Holmes's like daughter or niece or something like that we put on, and you can hear it. I mean, it does sound like it's coming from the ceiling, which is, I thought, was pretty cool.
But it's important to note for John's situation here, you've got a pretty rectangular room and you've got a pretty uniform ceiling. So if you've got like an open concept, you may not get the same results. So that's why in your particular case, when we were talking about this, we felt that this soundbar would be a great solution for you because of your room's scenario.
Yeah, and if you look, I mean, my ceilings are not high at all. I mean, this is a standard door, and the ceiling ends like right there. So it's low ceilings, and like you said, it's relatively a rectangle shape. There is that little bump out that I showed you where the garage was, but other than that, it's there's no odd angles here at all, and everything is very like compact. It's there. You get the TV right dead in the center. You got the subwoofer over there, which the subwoofer is incredible. I mean, I think that's although I love the screen, I think the sound is really the thing that gets me most excited when we sit down and watch something. Because you always have a screen, it's going to look good, but the sound just really like brings you into it, which I haven't really had that in my experience.
And what's your source for your programming? Is it an Apple TV?
Yes, yeah. Everything is run through an Apple TV that's hidden behind the screen. I got a couple of inputs. I have that's all we have. We don't have a cable box. Down here I have we just got Santa brought the kids an Xbox Series X, and then there's a little connection for the Nintendo down there. And I'll tell you what, the Xbox too, all the games really take advantage of the surround sound. I mean, you're playing when my son's playing Halo or when we're playing NBA 2K, you feel like you're in the arena. And the games nowadays are so realistic. My wife actually came down and she said, "Are we watching a game or are you playing?" Because it just looks so incredible.
Well, and that's fantastic, and it's a very clean install. You got a little bit of limited space, so putting those shelves there, I thought was a fantastic way to get the center channel or the sound bar there, as well as have a little storage for some of your games.
Yeah, so that was one of the issues that I had when I did all the measuring. I saw that I wasn't going to really be able to fit a full size TV stand here, and so I got these cherry wood shelves. I mean, they just made a cut, and I haven't done anything else with them just yet. I'm waiting until it gets a little warmer. But you'll see that I had it stick out just enough so that the Atmos was not being blocked by the TV. I mean, there is a little bit of a gap between the TV and the wall. And I originally got 10-inch pipes here. I mean, sorry, 8-inch pipes. But when I actually looked at it, I had to go with the 10-inch. I had to return them and get the 10-inch to give a little bit of a relief from the wall so those up-firing Atmos speakers wouldn't be blocked by the TV screen. But yeah, everything fits nicely. I got a couple baskets to keep things organized. And, so far, so good. I also installed these outlets that have extra power. I can plug in USB or USB-C here. I don't know if you can see it. I bought a few of those off of Amazon. I put those in just because there's like a million devices that need to be charged around here: headphones, chargers, controllers. I mean, iPads. The kids keep their iPads in this basket. But again, those are, I think, pretty convenient. I don't know if.
Yeah, those are actually really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fantastic looking room. It turned out better than what I was envisioning when we were talking about it. And at 86 inches, you get a pretty decent cinema feel for a room that size with the family watching TV.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only sitting on this couch about 8 feet from the wall. So I'm close. Again, it could have been larger, but I'm also close. One thing I do want to say that I got for the Apple TV remote, this case here, it actually has a place for an AirTag. Because one thing that I think that's what they call them, right? The things that Apple just came out with, so that you can't lose your remote. I mean, I remember the Apple TV remote's always sliding down in the couch cushions or something, or a kid, taking it out of the room. So I got this little case. I got it off of Amazon. It's a Elgato R5 locator case, and I put an AirTag in there. So if it ever goes missing, you just light that up, and it makes a noise, and then you don't lose your remote.
Great tip.
Yeah.
All right, John Cabrera, thank you so much for sharing your theater room with us. We really appreciate it. And we will have a parts list. There's only like 2 or 3 parts, but we'll add that to the description so you can see everything that's on here if you want to replicate this setup. So, John, thanks so much for being with us.
Oh no, I appreciate it, Ara, and I want to thank you again from the planning that you helped me do back in 2014 and to picking out all the stuff here. I really do appreciate it.
Our pleasure, my pleasure, of course. All right, we'll talk soon, John.
All right, bye, Ara. Thanks.
All right, and that was really cool. What I liked about, first of all, thank you, John, for sharing your home theater with us. You know, DJ, what I liked about it, it's a large format television with a sound bar that actually produces an Atmos effect in John's room. So I always am pretty adamant about explaining Atmos, when you bounce the sounds off the ceiling, will work in certain environments. And as you saw in that video, in John's environment, he's got low ceilings that are pretty uniform. So that's where the Atmos works. And he's a big fan of that sound bar. And I was happy to see it because it was when we were talking about it, I suggested that he try that one because I've had great experience with Klipsch, and I thought it would be a good experience for him.
Yeah, Klipsch. I was really interested in that soundbar. I'd love to hear that one. I haven't experienced that soundbar, but Klipsch has they have a reputation of having very directional sound. So if anybody could, with their speakers, if anybody could pull that off, I would think it would be a Klipsch system. And I really liked how those speakers in the rear channels, they have the up firing as well. So I didn't know those had the up firing when I first watched the video, and it wasn't until a few minutes later when he says the rear channels had up firing, because he said it was a 5.1.4 system, and I was like, how are we getting 0.4 out of this?
Yeah.
And then he said that, and it's like, it's a really, really nice system. I'd love to be able to get there and hear that, because the room looks like it's perfect for it. The system, it looks a very nice, clean system. I like the way he's mounted everything on the walls. It looks like a really nice system with they're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, and what I liked about it was how he did his rear surrounds. Being wireless, he just needed to provide power to it. But he said that to get the full effect, he needed to push the speakers back about 3 feet behind where his couch was. That was like optimal. And I liked how when he's done watching, he tucked them back right up against the couch so no one would walk into it. But you could even put those in a closet if you wanted to and just bring it out for when you wanted to do a movie. Because if you're watching news or something that doesn't require all that sound effects, the sound bar in the front with the upfiring speakers in the front and the subwoofer being wireless, I think that would give you enough for typical viewing. And then when you wanted to do some gaming, or like I said, a movie that really you want to immerse yourself into, I think that's a great solution. So doesn't cost a ton of money. Doesn't take a lot to make yourself a theater. What we're calling a theater, obviously some people would disagree, but this channel is going to be all about everybody's theater and what they do to enjoy this hobby that we love.
Exactly. I say that all the time on my podcast. I was featuring theaters for a time, and I wanted to get everybody to be involved, whether you just have a sound bar and not even a system like what he had. It's a sound bar, anything that gives you the experience that you're looking for in a theater, because that could just be your starting point. And that's what's fun about this channel, that I'm hoping we get people with sound bars and a passion, right? And then like, show us your sound bar, and then we'll feature, when you add more to it, we'll feature you again. And it's like, that's the fun of home theater. I mean, you've been into this as long as I have, and it's like, where we are today is not where we were 20 years ago, right? And
exactly, yeah.
Things evolve, and we evolve.
And you know what? The cool thing is now it's cheaper today than it was back when we first got started. So if you
the technology comes down.
So if you want to share your home theater with us, please send us an email, and we will try to get your home theater on. Send it to either myself, Ara at HT Guys, or yours, just the bright side of HT at Gmail, or did I get that wrong?
No, mine's brightsidehometheater at gmail.com.
So send it to either one of us.
The links
we'll
will all be in the show notes and stuff.
Yes. And we'll try and get you on a subsequent show.
Yeah, we've got quite a list so far, but I mean, we're going to be banging these out for a little while because I know a bunch of my listeners are going to be coming on. You have listened. This is fun. So we need to get some new blood too, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. And you could support us. You know what? We don't even have a support page for us. We do have the one where it was through the HT guys, but that was going only to HT guys. So you know what? For now, let's we'll table that, and DJ and I will come up with a new way to support this particular channel.
You know how you can support us? Thanks for watching, and tell your friends all about our channel.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll catch you on the next one.